So I am just out here sitting on a rock, see, waiting for my seeds to grow, but my seeds are back home. I've got my drone glasses on. You can see these are like clear lenses, and then you got your sun lenses. They're clever glasses that I bought for fishing, but for tying, be able to see to tie flies on. Listening to the incredible sound of waterfalls and the sound of my remote control taking photos. The drone is right over there. It's going to fly by here in just a second. Fly right by me. It's doing a time lapse. And I'm just out here recording this because I was on the phone with my best buddy this morning, and, which we do frequently talk together. Since it's his time, it's late at night, really late. He's a late person, and I'm kind of an early person, so it's good timing. But yeah, he's not just an anti-Trumper. He is a Trump hater, and pretty much I can give you the definition of that because it's pretty easy. He and I agree on basically all politics, I think, except for Trump. That effing lying, it's just amazing. Anyway, but every single thing that Trump campaigned on and tried to do, he agrees with me. And then he always said, you ask so many people this, what's so bad about Trump? He divided the country. He divided the country like it's never been divided before. Well, actually, that's not true. It has been divided before the Civil War on many issues, some kind of the same issues, actually. And I'd like to thank President Obama at this point, because was it not for President Obama actually dividing the U.S., Trump would have never been elected, and we would have never seen how corrupt the U.S. government is. Yeah, Trump would have not gotten elected if the country wasn't already divided, because he ran on very specific things. Like control of illegal immigration, like bringing back manufacturing that Obama said would never happen, building a wall to help curb immigration, which basically all Democrats have said on tape before that that's a good idea, and all of a sudden when Trump gets in, it's a racist idea. It's just, and here's the thing, and then this is what spurred this video, because he said, why do you post so many negative things on Facebook? He said, I don't even read them, I just scroll by. So I have to go back and look at my Facebook posts and see. We didn't have time for him to point out what part is negative, but I think it's going to be kind of like my buddy saying that everything that comes out of Trump's mouth is a lie, and then when you ask him what's the biggest lie, well, how far do I have to go back? Well, no, just the biggest lie, just the biggest, most harmful lie. Well, today it's usually a different one, but none of them were lies. Today was he would make Mexico pay for the wall, which basically he did with one tweet by denying the Mexican president a meeting with him. Within the next 2 or 3 days, the peso fell about 10% to the U.S. dollar, and making the trade with Mexico much 10% better for American manufacturers. Whatever they sold in Mexico, all of a sudden they got a 10% raise. Yeah, so we were agreeing on, oh yeah, and election results. Oh no, the election, there's no way it was rigged, there's no evidence. Well, I'm not sure, but I'll have to check back. I think that the courts didn't listen to the evidence, and there are just as many judges out there that are corrupt or biased, I should say, which for the judge is corrupt, as there are Democrats. So, there's got to be like 50% of the judges are biased. So, and the likelihood of you, actually, maybe even more, because here's the thing. The reason that politics becomes corrupted and the reason that it is because basically psychopaths, sociopaths, and the best studies done of that, or the best, I should say, summary of studies, is a book by John Ronson, The Psychopath Test. It's a really, really good book. And it's not that some people are psychopath or sociopath, is basically the same thing. A lot of people use sociopath because they think, when they hear psychopath, they think of people that murder other people, which a lot of, I would imagine, a high degree of premeditated murderers are psychopaths. He goes through about 20 points, which is the psychopath test, and as he explains, everybody falls in some at some point on the scale. Nobody's 0 and nobody's 10, but there are 9s and there are 1s, and the 9s are really high on the psychopath test. They crave power, most of them, and that's why a lot of them end up in politics and high positions in businesses and corporations, and even judges. I mean, that's a pretty high power to have, to be able to judge someone. And how did they get to these belief systems of socialism? Because socialism ultimately gives more power to the government, because they are distributing all the money, basically. They're controlling the money. Actually, they're not really controlling the money, because the banks do, the Federal Reserve. Another great American idea, which was beat down up until 1917, when Wilson was more than likely unfairly elected and installed as the most recent president by a group of bankers, because he had agreed to be in accordance with what they wanted, which was to set up a national bank, which ended up being the Federal Reserve System. That just is a whole different subject, but was a really bad decision for people, because it just puts that much more power in the hands of the psychopaths. And they're all over in the world. Yeah. Now, this is one thing that I don't love Trump. I do certainly admire him, and I agree with basically everything that he ran on. For every single country in the world should be interested in those goals, but